Hello, Senior Stoner fans. It's the real Senior Stoner back at you for your Little Dipper by Dip Devices Dab of the Day with diamonds. It's going to be a light one because I've got a raging sore throat, swollen glands, and still testing negative for COVID, thank God. Feeling like crap though, but I'm here for you. And here's what we're going to talk about today. Before I start though, I want to remind everybody, join the family. Do the right thing. Let's get us up to 20,000 subscribers and past. Send a like, and I love the comments. Are you one of the people that apologizes for everything? The first words out of your mouth in the morning are "I'm sorry," and when you go to bed at night, you're still saying "I'm sorry." Over apologizing? Well, you know what? There are ways to stop saying you're sorry so much. Let's discuss. Well, do you apologize for making perfectly reasonable requests at a restaurant? Or seek forgiveness for unpleasant circumstances that are beyond your control? If that's familiar to you, you're not alone. I do it all the time. Saying sorry too much is a common problem. However, over-apologizing all the time could really mean you're essentially saying sorry for who you are, for your existence. Over time, it's not only undermining your self-worth, but also your capacity to live life. If you find yourself saying sorry too much, there are ways and strategies that we can help reduce it. First, we have to understand what sorry syndrome is. It's a pervasive issue experienced by all kinds of people, but there are common traits among us. We all have compassion. We're people that care a lot about the feelings and preferences of others, and we often find ourselves apologizing when we've done nothing wrong. Sometimes people who apologize a lot are submissive in the relationships they're in. Those who are prone to saying sorry too much in a relationship often give the partner the message that they feel it's wrong to have their own personal boundaries or even needs. You're an agreeable person. If you care a lot about keeping the peace and preventing conflict, you're likely to say sorry more than necessary. After all, you'd rather give an unneeded apology than end up in a fight. Sounds like me. Lack of faith in your own judgment's another big reason. When you're never quite confident that what you're doing or saying is right, you can be quick to apologize and simply assume you're wrong. Maybe you've had a strict background like me. Whether you were raised in a strict schooling environment or by authoritarian parents, spending your childhood in fear of discipline makes you trigger happy with apologies. Bing, bing, bing. Anxiety and stress also, living with underlying sense of impending doom, can lead you to be ultra sensitive to the idea of situations or relationships going awry, which in turn can spark a disproportionate amount of apologies. But really, why do people do it? Why do people apologize too much? Apologizing too much or over-apologizing disorder can have a wide variety of background explanations. Some of them are indicated in the things we just talked about, but regardless of the nuances of personal life, there's likely a root cause for the excessive over-apologizing. 50% or more of these people, 50%, would let a stranger borrow their phone if the request started with, "I'm really sorry about the rain out there, but can I borrow your phone?" Isn't that interesting? So people who apologize so much respond so well to the apology. But the real answer, the real discussion is, how do we stop saying we're sorry all the time? I have a sore throat and swollen glands. I'm apologizing to Mrs. Stoner all day long yesterday, all night long yesterday. I talk about health and protecting my family, and I apologize all the time. While apologizing can be a powerful tool building trust and improving social cohesion, it's vital to be able to assert yourself and view yourself as having the right to make your way in the world. If you're constantly apologizing, like me, you're sending the signal to everyone that you're meek, unsure, and undeserving. An unnecessary sorry has huge potential to undermine who you are. It pays to cut back on doing these things, but how do we do it? How do we cut back? Well, pause before apologizing. Before saying sorry, stop and ask yourself, have I actually done anything wrong here? If the answer is no, don't apologize. The urge can be easier to resist if you ask the follow-up question like this. If I didn't do something wrong here, do I really want people to think I believe that I did? Express your compassion differently. If you worry about sharing difficult emotions, note that there are other ways to show compassion and empathy. Instead of constantly apologizing in a relationship, maybe say something like, I know that's tough to hear, or you can always tell me when you're upset, instead of I'm sorry. You got to know your triggers. A brainstorming session in your brain can give you 10 things that make you want to apologize. Maybe an example would be bumping into a stranger or asking someone to do something for you. For each item, think of something you could say instead. How about excuse me? Spend a week focusing on just one and then try to entirely eliminate the word sorry from context. Believe it or not, it'll help. You got to learn, we all need to learn to phrase our questions carefully. Many of us are. There's no need to over-apologize when you need clarification. So don't say sorry when you ask. Instead, let's experiment with questions like, could you please say a bit more about that for me? Or can you please help me understand that better? Maybe I'll use the example. Instead of, I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you said. I'm sorry, can you speak louder? I'm sorry, I don't hear right. I'm sorry, I wear hearing aids. I'm sorry, I'm a sick person. You get it, right? We've got to find ways to turn these apologies into gratitude. So maybe the next time we feel an apology rising up inside of us, we need to think of a way to rephrase it into a statement of gratitude. Instead of, I'm sorry you had to run that errand, how about I'm so grateful you did me the favor? Not only is that more pleasing to the person you're talking to, but it focuses our mind on positivity and abundance. This can help us attract even more positivity in our life. So, let's summarize. If you're suspecting or even know that you have any limiting beliefs holding you back, okay, in a very weird and spooky way, okay, your subconscious could be sabotaging you. So we still got to find a way to stop apologizing so much. We've got to open it up out of our subconscious and put it on the table. And then one by one, half by half, whatever it is, we're going to tick them off. And instead of apologizing, we're going to slow it down and find ways to express ourselves differently. This has been The Real Senior Stoner. I want to thank you today for joining me. Unfortunately, this hit's going to be a very light one today because of the way I am feeling. But let's heat this little dipper up and get it rolling. Here we go. A little hit from the Little Dipper. Thanks for joining me, everybody. I think it's an important topic because, unfortunately, I've been doing it all my life. Let's try to find ways to stop apologizing constantly to everybody for nothing. This has been The Real Senior Stoner. If you enjoyed this discussion, as I hope you did, hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends to come join the family. Send likes, and let's have some comments as we approach the holidays. Remember, you no longer have to say you're sorry for nothing. Cheers, everybody, and thanks for joining me. It's been The Real Senior Stoner.